Hi, here is flip lesson number 1. Here we're just going to be working on reviewing some concepts that you should know from previous years to get ready for the concepts and the topics for this year in grade 12. As we go through these examples and all the videos throughout the year, please pause before I start writing the next line so you can see what you know and then verify with what I write afterwards. Okay, so please pause now and begin this first example on expanding. So I'm just going to leave that negative out front here in the square here, and I expand in that negative into the 3x minus 4, so you get negative 3x plus 4. And I'll leave that one out there also just for now. Pause now, please. And now I'll bring in that, because that, remember what that means, if there's just a negative out front of brackets, or a negative 4 out front of brackets, we'll just multiply that in, so we get negative 2y plus 3x minus 4, and then negative 20x plus 3y minus, plus 12y. So yes, even I make mistakes, and you'll probably find that I make more than most teachers. Pause now before you simplify. I won't do this all the time, but just for now I will collect all the like terms. Okay, pause. I forgot the 20 there, that's negative 20x. And then we'll just collect that, so we get negative 11x plus 10y minus 12. And typically I like having the variables in alphabetical order, but also I like to have a positive term to begin the expression. So instead of, I could rewrite this and have the 10y first, but I like the alphabetical order first, or better, so I'm going to factor out a negative, so you get 11x minus 10y plus 12. Okay, so now we're going to move on to shortcuts for expanding and simplifying. If you see a pattern like this, if you see that it's the square of a sum, then it'll turn out to be like this. It'll be the square of the first term, the square of the last term, and in between it'll be 2 times the product of those two terms. And then if it's a sum of terms, or sorry, a difference of terms, it'll be the square of the first term plus the square of the second term minus 2 times the product of the two terms that are originally given. Okay, so you can expand that out if you like, that's no problem. But if you see that, you can just go ahead and apply this shortcut. Okay, so go ahead and pause, please. So I'm going to take the first term and square that, plus 2 times the product of the two terms, plus the square of the second term. Okay, pause. 9x squared plus 30xy plus 25y squared. Okay, and that is in the same form. If we do 3 times 5 times 2, we get 30. Okay, and now we'll work on the next example here. Again, we do the same thing. Notice now this is a difference. X squared plus 2 times the product Okay, pause again please and simplify. Okay, so just verify that you have those solutions correct, please. And now if we look at expanding differences of squares, or sums and products, if you were to expand this out, we get the first term times, because that's repeated, it'll just be that first term squared. It'll be the last term squared, and then if you were to use the distributive property, the first term times the second term minus the second term times the first term. Those two terms cancel, so we're just left with two terms. That middle term would drop out, and so this is a difference of squares, because both the first and the second term are squared, and there's a difference or a subtraction in the middle. Okay, so let's just work that out, please. Okay, so just work out like that. Okay, so for this last example, what we're going to do is use what we saw in the previous examples of shortcuts for expanding and simplifying. And we'll take a few shortcuts here to expand this out and simplify it. So go ahead and work that out, please. Pause the video and come back to confirm what you have found. Okay, so I'll leave the 3x squared, and then this is the product of a difference in a sum. So you get 4x squared minus 9y squared. And then this is the perfect square. So I'm going to multiply the 4x squared times 4x squared plus 4xy plus y squared. And pause now, please, to work on the next step. Okay, so I'll get 12x to the power 4 minus 27x squared y squared minus 16x to the power 4 minus 16x cubed y and minus 4x squared y squared. Okay, now just simplify that, please, by collecting like terms. Pause. And so we've got 12x to the power 4 minus 16x to the power 4, so we get negative 4x to the power 4. I'll leave this term with the x squared y squared and that term with the x squared y squared until the end. So I like when the variables decrease in power. At least the first variable decreases in power while the second variable increases in power. So I'll go with this negative 16x cubed y. And then we'll stick on the last part, which is negative 31x to the power, or sorry, squared y squared. And again, I don't like when an expression begins with a negative, so I'll just factor that negative out. Okay, so that will be it for today. See you in class tomorrow.